What makes people so devoted to Trump that they'll defend anything he does? He's protecting predators and pedophiles. He's plainly using the government to enrich himself and the billionaire Epstein class. ICE agents killed 2 people in the streets on camera. He wants a federal takeover of elections so the MAGA monarchy can live on after he's gone. And the MAGA cult ignores it, defends it, or they say they don't know anything about it. This is by far the largest, most effective, and most pervasive political cult in the history of the United States. If you want to understand why your family chooses Trump over you, why your friends and coworkers make excuses for him, and why facts and evidence just don't get through, you need to understand how cults work. Here are 4 psychological reasons that people stay in the MAGA cult, even when the disgusting reality is staring them right in the face. Number 1, if they leave the cult, they will literally lose their identity. They will lose their sense of self and who they are. They won't know who to trust. They won't know where they belong. People in cults identify so strongly with the leader and beliefs that they fuse their own identity with the cult identity. This is a phenomenon called identity fusion, where a person's personal identity becomes fused with the identity of the leader or the group. That's why for Trump's followers, any attack on Trump or MAGA feels like a personal attack. When you criticize Trump and what he's doing, you're also criticizing them. And because the Trump brand has co-opted the American flag and American patriotism, when you attack Trump, you are attacking America itself.
Exactly.
There's no reasoning with them. They won't listen to what you have to say or even consider that you might be right, because they would have to accept that they have been wrong this entire time. Cult members don't want to feel like they're being fooled. They don't want to admit their judgment is wrong, and they will refuse to take accountability. That's their ego protecting their identity. They'll just redirect the blame on you. They'll say you have Trump derangement syndrome. They'll say you hate America. Their patriotic American MAGA identity, red hat and all, is where they believe they belong and where they feel safe. If they leave the cult, they lose their identity.
That's exactly right.
Number 2, and this is so important. Trump followers live inside a tightly controlled cult compound. I'll explain. In order for a cult to work, the leaders must keep their followers separated from reasonable people and ideas. Look at Jonestown, Branch Davidians in Waco, Heaven's Gate, Scientology, fundamentalist Mormons. They all have or had compounds, places to live where followers are kept away from family and friends or kept away from the general public. This is absolutely necessary to maintain control. With political cults, however, followers don't have to live in an actual compound to be controlled. Here's why. Generally speaking, we don't talk to each other in person about politics anymore. Instead, we leave a comment on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and TikTok. And most people don't even comment. They just read the comments. The Trump cult leadership and big tech knows this. And the algorithm separates us into very distinct media bubbles. A media bubble is all the apps and channels you go to on your phone or computer or TV. It's where you watch the news and see people's opinion of the news. This is where we learn what to think and what to believe. The Trump MAGA media bubble is what cult expert Dr. Stephen Hassan calls the digital compound. Inside this MAGA digital compound, Fox News and Newsmax and political podcasters and influencers only praise the divine savior, America's greatest president and patriot, Donald J. Trump.
That's exactly right.
They ignore or they justify Trump's corruption, protecting pedophiles, and enriching himself and his loyalists. The media bubble stokes anger and fear by creating enemies like illegal immigrants and the radical left and fake news, And the more MAGA hears all this inside their media bubble, and the more people that repeat it inside that echo chamber, the more it becomes true.
Exactly.
It's how the Trump digital cult compound keeps people locked inside. They create fear and anger, then they repeat the same lies over and over. Trump says Trump is the best president ever. Then Fox News says Trump is the best president ever. Then all the comments on Facebook say Trump is the best president ever. And those lies become the truth. It's called the illusory effect. The brain begins to believe a statement is true simply because it has been repeated so many times, regardless of its logic or evidence.
That's interesting.
It's critically important to understand the MAGA media bubble is an entirely different reality and perspective than the one you know inside your media bubble.
That's completely true.
As a side note, media bubbles are a fundamental cause of the intensity of political divisiveness in this country. People inside the Trump cult see how outsiders are treated. They're deathly afraid of becoming an outsider.
Yes.
So they stay inside Trump's digital compound,
Yes.
the MAGA, Fox News, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter media bubble. And they stay in the Trump cult where they feel safe.
Completely true.
Number 3 is an especially strong anchor, keeping these people in the cult. It's especially strong because of the neurotransmitter dopamine. But before I get to number 3, I have an important message from my new Medicare partner. In my 15 years of practice as a primary care internist, I've seen what happens when my patients are on the wrong Medicare plan. Doctors and specialists are out of network, medications aren't covered, costs are higher than expected. We know that millions of seniors are on the wrong plan, and they don't even know it. I want to be certain that you are on the right plan for you. That's what my new partner chapter does. You call the number above, speak with an advisor. They have a database of every Medicare plan out there, and there's over 10,000 of them. And they will compare every plan and see what's right for you. Seniors who work with Chapter save an average of $1,100 per year. This is a completely free service. It'll take about 20 minutes on your call. And if you're already on the right plan, they'll tell you you're already on the right plan and give you that peace of mind. So I'm asking everybody on Medicare, call Chapter and be sure you're on the right plan. That number is 504-613-5925. Call now or after you watch this video. After your call, let me know how it went. Okay, back to number 3. The number 3 psychological reason that people stay in the Trump cult is that Trump keeps his cult hooked on revenge. This is especially powerful because Trump taps into dopamine, which is the neurotransmitter in the brain that makes you feel rewarded. He'll identify groups like immigrants, fake news, Democrats, rhinos, the radical left, and claim that they threaten the American way of life. And those groups are to blame for MAGA's misery. They are the enemy. And he repeats it over and over. They're pouring over the border. They're pouring over the border. They're pouring over the border. And the cult becomes afraid. Then he promises to protect his cult from the enemy that he created, and that makes them feel safe. But even better, he promises to get revenge on the enemy. This is how he gets away with not actually improving the lives of his followers, by promising retribution against the enemy they think ruined their lives. Immigrants took your job, he'll deport them. DEI is anti-white racism, he'll end it. The media lies about Trump and his followers, he'll attack them constantly. Canada is anti-American, he'll slap a tariff on them. Trump followers don't care if they can't afford groceries, as long as they're watching their enemies suffer. The cruelty, the revenge, is the point.
Yes.
In human behavior, we call this Schadenfreude. Schadenfreude is when a person feels pleasure when someone else is hurting or humiliated or defeated. So when Trump insults or attacks people, or when immigrants are rounded up, or when Democrats are hunted by the DOJ, or he suppresses free speech, or interferes with elections. MAGA loves it. That dopamine hit is a better reward than any tangible economic policy that might actually improve their lives. This is why Trump followers are willing to ignore their own personal struggle, like affordability, as long as they see the enemies being hurt. But the most dangerous part is that chronic exposure to increasing levels of cruelty and aggressive rhetoric conditions Trump's followers to excuse the inexcusable. They have become trained to normalize violence against anyone labeled as the enemy. ICE agents killed 2 people in the streets, and MAGA either cheered it or made excuses. In the Trump cult, violence is acceptable as long as it's against the enemy, even if the enemy is Americans. The enemy is being punished, and the MAGA cult is hooked on that revenge, and they don't leave because addictions are hard to break.
Absolutely.
And the number 4 reason that people stay stuck in Trump's cult is that leaving means losing everything. The biggest trap is the people in the community they belong to. It's their family and their friends, their neighbors and their church, their circle, all the people around them. They're all in the cult. In their eyes, it's the real America, the true patriots. They feel like they belong to something that they believe in. There's even merch like the red hat and Trump flags and songs like God Bless the USA. All of that meets a primal and essential human need, the feeling of belonging, of being a part of a tribe that looks like they look and thinks like they think. Many that are in the Trump cult were vulnerable to being entrapped in the first place. Their towns were dying, their jobs disappeared, media ignored them, politicians didn't care about them. They felt forgotten, invisible, unheard, lost. Then Trump showed up and said, "You won't be ignored anymore. We're going to take back our country. We're going to start winning again, and I am the only one that can do it." For a lot of them, it's the first time that they felt like they belonged somewhere, belonged to something. They felt welcomed and had something to root for. They finally had a tribe with a purpose. Trump made them feel powerful for the first time in their lives. So leaving the Trump cult means much more than changing their vote. It's choosing to become an enemy to everyone around them. It means losing the trust of their family and friends, losing their tribe, their purpose, being isolated again, invisible again, and they're terrified of that. So they stay. That's the entrapment of a political cult. This is how cults work. They give you an identity and a purpose. They isolate you from reasonable people and ideas. They give you an enemy to blame and then punish that enemy and convince you that leaving means that you become the enemy and you lose everything. Sometimes people in cults know what's happening is wrong. They see it. They see the lies piling up. They see the destruction, the chaos, and they realize that their lives are not actually getting any better, but they've spent years defending it, and their ego won't let them admit that they are being swindled. They're more afraid of the public shame of admitting that they were wrong than they are of what Trump is actually doing. They know he's protecting pedophiles. They know he's trying to take over elections. They know he's suppressing free speech, but their pride matters more than doing the right thing. Most of all, they're scared of leaving the cult and becoming an outsider, becoming the enemy. And here's what they don't understand. The cult will never help them. It will never improve their lives. The cult only wants power, control, and money. That's how cults work. Although most won't escape Trump's cult, some will. Like anybody escaping a cult, we should welcome them, embrace them, listen to them. If you are trapped in the MAGA cult and need help escaping, there's a website for you to go to. It's called leavingmaga.org. Please visit that. For those of us on the outside of this cult, we must continue to protect each other, organize, vote. We still have 3 years left of fighting to make damn sure that this cult doesn't take our democracy down with it. And with that, we close for today. Thank you sincerely for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Your support means everything to us. Special thanks to our members. You can find me on Blue Sky. You can find Max over on
on Twitter and TikTok.
Twitter and TikTok. We have a Patreon and a Discord for more engagement. Be safe, everybody, and take care of each other. Until next time.
Thank you.